Good morning, boys and girls. I'm Teacher Felix. I'll be taking you through Science Lesson 6, Standard 7. And this is a continuation again of our previous topic and even subtopic. Remember, we were looking at water, and underwater, we had looked at water pollution. We had talked about causes of water pollution. I believe you remember them, like floods, acid rain. We have excessive use of farm chemicals. We have industrial waste. We have animal and human waste, among others. We also looked at effects of water pollution on crops. We looked at effects of water pollution on animals. And we also looked at effects of water pollution on plants, on soil. So after that, we also came to look at conservation of water, where we discussed some of the ways of conserving water. And in this lesson, we want to proceed with the same subtopic because we want to discuss each and every way of conserving water one by one. So in this lesson, we are continuing with the subtopic, water conservation. And our objective says by the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to describe ways in which uh, water can be conserved. And two, you are supposed to be able to give reasons for conserving water and maybe create some awareness on water conservation. So those are our three objectives, and if you look at them, they are just the same objectives we had in our first subtopic, our first lesson on conservation of water, because it is a continuation. In our introduction, we say in our previous lesson, we looked at some of the ways of conserving water. These included harvesting rainwater, recycling water, mulching, terracing, reusing, and all that. And we also discussed some of those ways. We discussed harvesting rainwater and we discussed recycling water. So in this lesson, we want to look at other methods. We want to look at other methods in details. In this lesson, we'll continue looking at these methods and these ways of conserving water, but in details. So let us look at reusing water. Reusing, and we should add the word water. Reusing water. Let us look at reusing water. What is reusing water? This is our number 3 after harvesting rainwater and after looking at recycling. So what is to reuse? Remember in recycling, we said in recycling, water is treated. Used water is treated to make it suitable for use again. Here, we are talking about reusing water. What is the difference between recycling and reusing? Reusing water is using water that has already been used. Using water that has already been used for another purpose. And listen to this. This is using water that has already been used for another purpose. Here, the difference between reusing water and recycling water is in recycling, the water must be treated or filtered. The water is either treated or filtered. But in reusing, the same water that has been used in its original form, the way it is used in another way. So you use water that has been used without treating it to do something else. For example, In homes, water that has been used to wash clothes can be used to clean the house. After cleaning the clothes, the laundry water, you can use that water to clean the house, or to clean the car, or to clean the pavements. So you have reused without treating that water. It is just used directly without treating. Or the water that has been used to clean vegetables can be used to water crops. After cleaning your vegetable, your fruits, your greens, the water that you have used to clean those veggies, you can use to water crops. You can use that water to water. You can use that water to water even flowers. So that is reusing. That water is not treated. That water is not filtered. It is just the same water you have used. In that manner, you use it to do something else. In recycling, the water must be treated or filtered. In reusing, the water that has been used is just used for another purpose. Look at these pictures. We have pictures here. In the first picture, somebody is cleaning clothes. The same person in the next picture is cleaning a floor, is mopping. So this person has used the water he used or she used in cleaning the clothes to clean the floor without treating the water. So this is reusing water. What does this one drive at? It shows us that when you do this, you conserve, you reduce wastage. If this person, after cleaning the clothes, just pour off or away this water, and then later on, he goes taking some clean water to clean the floor, that is wastage. Because this water is still fit for use for such purposes as cleaning the floor. So this is saving water. This person has saved water that he or she could have used to clean the floor if he could have poured off this water. So this is a way of conserving water, avoiding wastage, using water that you have used to clean the clothes to clean the floor. Do you do this one at home? Have you seen someone do this at home? It is very important to do this, to save water. It doesn't matter how much water we have, but it is very important to save water. Let us look at another scenario. Look at this mama. In the first picture, the mama was cleaning vegetable in a sink. The water that she used to clean these vegetables, she was collecting the water in a bucket. Now, in the opposite farm, she has used that water to water the crops. And you can see how green the crops are, very green. So, the water that has been used to clean vegetable is being used in the farm to water crops without treating the water. The water has not been treated. The same water is being used without treating. This is what we call reusing water. This is what we call reusing water. Have we understood the meaning of the word reusing water? We have said reusing water simply means using water that has already been used for another purpose. Using water that has already been used for another purpose. And we have given examples. Somebody washing clothes, using the water that he or she has used to wash the clothes to clean the floor. Another person cleaning vegetables, then using the same water to water crops. And why? Why haven't we talked about this person who cleaned the clothes watering crops using the water? This person who cleaned the clothes, why can't he or she use the water they used to water crops? Remember, soapy water can harm crops. So we don't water crops using soapy water. Water with soap can cause crops to dry up. So we don't water crops using soapy water. Have we understood that, boys and girls? Good. So that is reusing water. Now let us look at another method of water conservation, and that is mulching. And mulching is application of dry matter. It is application of dry matter, and matter here I talk about leaves or parts of plants. So mulching is just application of dry matter in a farm where young crops are growing or where crops are growing at the base of the stems, at the base of each stem. Why do we do this? Remember, when it is sunny or when the sun shines, a lot of water is lost through evaporation. When there's a lot of sunshine, when there's a somehow uh, the weather is sunny or it's dry, the weather is dry, a lot of water is lost through evaporation, leaving the plants with less water for growth. And I believe you know, plants need water for growth. So when this water evaporates, very little remains in the soil for these plants to grow. Therefore, mulching, which we can also call shading, though shading is a bit different from mulching, shading or mulching growing plants prevents too much evaporation. Shading is mostly done on nursery beds, on seed beds, where seeds are growing or germinating into seedlings. So mulching or shading prevents too much evaporation. This helps to conserve water in the soil. This helps conserve water in the soil. It helps conserve water in the soil. And we are being told again, cultivating close to riverbanks, streams, or springs. Cultivating close to riverbanks, streams, or springs should be minimized and, if possible, should be avoided to avoid exposing the surface of the groundwater to too much evaporation. Farmers should not cultivate, because when you cultivate along riverbanks or streams or springs, you expose the water that is underground. How do you expose it? You dig the soil, take off the vegetation which covers the soil, making it exposed, the ground exposed, increasing the rate of evaporation. So that one should be avoided also, to avoid too much loss of water from the soil. Though that is not part of mulching, but that is just a point of consideration or a point of note under evaporation, which causes too much loss of water. Now, I want us to look at the diagrams showing different ways of mulching, different ways of mulching, different ways of mulching. I want us to look at this beautiful diagram. This beautiful diagram has two parts. The first part, I think this is vegetable. They are dry matter used for mulching. They have been placed under or below the crops at their lowest part of the stem. In the next one, where there are these ones, I think they are onions, the mulching that has been applied is not like the one that we said they use dry matter. This one, they have used plastic bags or plastic polythene paper. So polythene paper can also be used to apply mulch. But the best materials for mulching, the best materials to use for mulching are plant materials. Why? Because they can decompose to make humus. And when they decompose, they make soil more fertile. Plastic or polythene does not decompose. They may take very, very many years to decompose. For plastic to decompose, what is to decompose? In simple words, decomposition means to rot. So plastic cannot rot. It takes a lot of time, too many years. So when you use plastic to mulch, it can be harmful to the soil. Plastic can harm the soil by polluting the soil. So it is not advisable to use plastic, though some farmers use plastic because of the expense of getting dry crop matter. So these are types of mulching, and you can see how green the onions are under the mulch, and it seems they are enjoying the environment. So this is a way of reducing or conserving water. Remember again, as we learn science, I always tell you, the main reason why farmers apply mulch, the main reason why farmers apply mulch or mulch, or the reason why farmers practice mulching, it is to prevent loss of moisture, to help reduce or prevent the loss of moisture from the soil. That is the main reason. Besides others, remember mulching has so many advantages. Mulching has so many advantages. Like one, mulching can help reduce the rate at which weeds grow. So mulching can be used to prevent or to control weeds. It prevents or controls weeds by scorching the weeds, whereby the sunlight cannot reach the weeds. Remember, all crops need sunlight for growth, especially green crops or green plants. So that is one. One advantage of mulching is that mulching helps to control weeds. Number two, mulching also helps control soil erosion, and especially sheet erosion and splash erosion. Splash erosion, sheet erosion can be prevented by mulching. That is another advantage. The other advantage of mulching is what I said. When these dry matter rots or decompose, they make humus, making soil more fertile. So those are some of the advantages of mulching, though we have said the main reason why mulching is applied is to help the farmer reduce the rate of evaporation, to conserve moisture in the soil. The main reason. The main reason. That is the main reason. Remember also mulching has its disadvantages. It has its disadvantages. And one of the disadvantages of mulching, we said, is these materials used for mulching may be hiding places for crop pests. Some pests may hide in the materials and destroy crops. Two, some of them can encourage weeds. As far as we are saying they can reduce or control weeds, some can encourage. For example, if I carried materials which have seeds like blackjack, then brought them into my farm when they are dry, and the blackjack was mature blackjack, The seeds were dry. When I bring them into my farm, they will germinate in the farm. Even if my farm didn't have blackjack, it will have blackjacks now. So it can also encourage weeds. And again, if some of these materials contained some diseases, if the crops, like I took materials from beans and these beans had crop pests or diseases, I can transfer these diseases into my farm. So those are some of the disadvantages, but again, we say the advantages outweighs the disadvantages. So that is about mulching. Is a method of controlling or helping to conserve water. Then we have the fifth method of conserving water that we had looked at, constructing dams or terraces. Constructing dams or terraces. And we are being told we should dig dams or terraces to trap runoff water. I told you the meaning of runoff, the water that flows on the ground after it has rained. This water can be used for irrigation during dry season. And listen, boys and girls, in dry areas, most farmers have applied this method of conserving water. During rainy season, they dig some dams and terraces, some holes, where the water collects itself. They channel the water into those dams. During rainy season, they collect this water. When it is dry season, they use this water to pump into their farms for to help them water their crops. So it is a method of conserving water. This is a method of conserving water. Now let us look at this. These are dams, these are terraces built. I believe you know what terraces are. Terracing is also a method of controlling erosion, especially sheet or gully erosion. Sorry, not sheet, real or gully erosion. Now look at this. This is a dam that has collected a lot of water that will be used later. So up to that moment, those ones are methods of conserving water. We have the last one that we are going to discuss independently in our next lesson on to finish with, whereby we shall also have some quizzes for us to answer and we shall write them. So in our next lesson, come prepared with a pen and a paper, because we will do a quiz and mark the quiz in the same lesson. We shall do that as we still plan on how we shall be giving work for you and for us. So I believe you are good. Continue reading. This topic is a very, very important topic, water, in Standard 7. Take it seriously. It is very important that you know that every topic is equally important as the others. So continue revising. Go through these lessons. Repeat them. Repeat until you know I am well. That even if somebody wakes me up today and asks me a question on a topic, I'll be able to answer. So good boys and girls, I want to wish you a good time as you continue revising. I want to wish you well as you continue staying at home. Continue working hard, because we never know what tomorrow holds. And God knows everything, no matter what is happening. Being that you are going to repeat a class is not a problem. You are not the only one repeating. It is countrywide that everybody, every learner, even those in some of the people in universities taking some courses, they will have to repeat. So it is not you alone. You are not alone. We are many. So many people, so many students, so many pupils in this country are undergoing the same. So don't panic. Don't get depressed. This is just normal, and everything happens for the good of God's will. So until we meet again, I want to say goodbye.